And the next company to present is Scandinavian ChemoTech with the CEO, Mohan. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Today's presentation, I was thinking of doing it slightly differently than I used to do. There are so many presentations where I present the company, the technology. We even have my medical director explaining from a medical perspective what ChemoTech is doing. But today I'm going to focus on what we're doing differently and how and why we do those things. Basically, we are a scientific company in the medical device industry. We're focusing on developing technologies to treat cancer, not only for humans, but also for our pets and animals. And the last few months, we have had tremendous amount of news to be published about our success in treating animals in both Scandinavia, UK, and United States. And these successes just continue to come, and we're very, very happy to those. And also the fact that many of these animals can be treated for cancer without giving general anesthesia. Something that is revolutionary for the veterinary care, where anesthesia is general anesthesia not only making it more expensive for the owners of the animals, but also complex and risky for the patients itself. Who are we? We are a publicly listed company on Nasdaq First North here in Stockholm. We have been there since the end of 2016. Our technology is protected by 3 independent patent families that not only protecting our technology, but also disposable, which is a very, very crucial thing, especially if you are in a razor blade technology as ChemoTech, where we actually make money not only on the devices and the hardware, we also do it on the consumables. We have operations in Scandinavia, in Europe, and in Middle East, and India, United States. We have also a wide network of already established distributors around the world. So we are in the beginning of our commercial route. And I told you, I'm going to talk about what makes us differently. It starts with the actual R&D perspective. Many of the companies around the world in cancer, they are focusing on destroying tumors as quickly and efficiently as possible, and trying at the same time to reduce the collateral damage on healthy tissue. Our idea was a 180-degree turn in that specific area. ChemoTech's target was to see what happens if destroying the tumor is the problem, why all cancer therapies are not really as successful as they wish to be. So ChemoTech has developed and continue to developing techniques to make us treat cancer without breaking down the cancer cell and create destruction in the body, instead of getting a help to the body to fight the cancer without creating unbalances. Our technique is called tumor-specific electroporation, and is a technique where we use a short electrical pulse to stimulate the ability for tumors to absorb chemotherapy, but at the same time also generate an opportunity to create immune response in the body. To enable that, it's super crucial not to destroy the lymph system or lymphocytes, these components that are so important for your body's own ability to fight for external threats, as the cancer can be seen as. We have a main unit, and it's connected to a probe where we have sterile one-time use electrodes, and those are inserted into the tumor area and give that short electrical pulse that gives the stimulation to improve uptake of chemotherapy without destroying tissue, and releasing and helping the body to release antigens for the immune system to be awakened. R&D. If you do R&D, very often you start with an innovation, and you try to take that innovation into an idea and product and so on, and then you make a marketing plan. Where and how should we market this to the world? ChemoTech is slightly different here, but academically it's not very strange. But the most important thing is, what kind of problem should we solve, and to whom? To do that, we also need to look at the financial perspective of this strategy. Where do we solve problems? Where can we earn money? And where is the growth potential? Is the growth potential in industrial countries where we have enormous amount of cancer therapies to our hand, where we have a mature installation of technology, and we have a low economic growth, and we have very high survival rate in cancer relatively to the world? Or should we look or lift our eyes above the horizon and look at what's beyond our borders? Half industrialized countries like India, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, huge countries where the installed base of cancer care has not even been far of starting, where they have a strong economic growth, where the deaths occurred by cancer is a majority in this world. 60% of the deaths occurred by cancer is in Asia, India, Middle East, and China. The only problem is, can you design a product that is economically defendable in these countries? Can you do that and keep good margins? That's why it's so important to choose your market and choose your audience before you actually start innovation. And that's what ChemoTech has done. The same kind of character changes you could see when it comes to animal care. Animal care in Western world are today where the tigers of Asia is in human medicine. Huge potential growth, low amount of installed base of new technologies, an enormous amount of patients, and low survival rate of pets. So if we have designed the product to be affordable for the half industrial countries, it happened to be just also affordable and accessible to the animal care industry. So position our product and our technology, tumor-specific electroporation, we saw that it was a great need for a time and cost-efficient treatment that could be a new single therapy, but also improving the clinical results of the traditional cancer care technologies, like radiation, improving clean margins when you do surgical procedures, or improve the uptake of chemotherapy, or make systemic chemotherapy even more efficient. So that's why we saw a huge potential, and that's what we designed TSE for. TSE has an intelligence built in, and that is the patent, one part of the patent that we have. It's a technology that not only gives a stimulation to the cells, but it actually is a dynamic technology that adapts yourself to the tumor in every single location where you treat. So you don't over-treat patients, so you create damage, or you under-treat and don't get the clinical results that you want. The technology is today commercial in two different areas. We have animal care and human care on superficial tumors, tumors where you can easily reach from the surface of the skin. And that is majority of the tumors in animal care and has huge potential in India and Southeast Asia on human care. Just head and neck cancer in India stands for 160,000 plus patients a year. But over 60% of those are not getting a sufficient treatment. So the potential is huge. And then we have the third leg, which is our R&D project for deep-seated tumors, where we just recently have published news from our treated patients in Ukraine, where they have used TSE to treat pancreatic cancer. One of those patients is still in home care facility care without any pain after over 7 months. So this have lifted the knowledge and the awareness of ChemoTech and our TC technology around the world among the pancreatic society, and we're very, very happy to that achievement. So market strategy, it's not so strange then that we chose India from superficial tumors, talking about creating stars, a product where we can reach high market share and at the same time high market growth. Veterinary care, which I told you about, we're choosing Europe and US, basically because that's where we put money to save our pets and where we see those pets as part of our family. I'm not saying they do that not seeing that in the rest of the world, but they're slightly more price sensitive than they are in Europe and US. And when it comes to the deep-seated tumors, that's the area where Europe and North America becomes a potential superstar for us. But basically, yeah, it's still a question mark. We have not come far enough when it comes to clinical investigations to really see that we are going to create the star even in that business area. Pancreatic cancer is an enormous problem around the world, and we have established a strategy for achieving a clinical project for this. We started in Ukraine, and we're going step by step, going to continue clinical trials in Europe, Africa, and United States, and India. And the approach is to create a therapy where TSE is being introduced into a laparoscopic or robotic surgical solution, either by ourselves or by a partner. So why should you invest in ChemoTech? It sounds like we really have come quite far, and we have, and I'm very happy to that we have achieved that. But we still have a lot of milestones to go. Except being certified, which we are for both our products, we have a clinical trial at government hospital in India that has started, and we're looking to see the end of that clinical trial within the year. We are slightly delayed in that trial. I thought we would reach the end already in August, but I'm seeing it more like being in the fourth quarter this year. We also look at extending the partnership with the government in India to also include breast cancer trials and pancreatic trials. Also big milestones for us. We're also looking into finding ways to do clinical trials for pancreatic cancer outside Ukraine, into Europe and North America. It's a slightly longer project, and I think we need at least 1 to 2 years to reach those partnerships. To get getting IQWave, which is the name of the product for human medicine, into the procurement system for government is also an extreme milestone for us, because it makes every single oncologist in the public healthcare in India be able to actually demand our product, and by automatic process create the procurement process and tender business for us. And we're also looking into the time when the trial at Ames Jodhpur at government going to be published, obviously. Publications are still one of the biggest milestones for life science companies. And new R&D and partnership for laparoscopic and robotic surgery. That is also a huge milestone, which I hope we will reach within next year. For animal care, we have several accounts with that includes sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of hospitals and clinics. So obviously, to growing our sales within these organizations is a huge milestone for us. And I hope that we will achieve some of those already this year. Also to have case series publications from our partners, Royal Veterinary College in UK, or our university veterinary partner in Australia that we just started this week. And we're looking at sales in multiple sites with our partners, Anicura and Evidensia. Swedish organizations to start with, but they are global actors today. And Also, we already sold to some of the not super large clients, but we still have the opportunity to get multiple new orders from already installed organizations. And we are also investigating and evaluating potential distributors for the North American market. We have an LOI with one, but we also have included others to really ensure that we take the right decision. So these are the milestones that you as shareholders could see as one of the reasons for investing in ChemoTech for now and for 2 or 3 years ahead.
Thanks for your presentation, Mohan. I have a few questions about the sales you have reached so far. You recently installed your first commercial installation at Evidensia. What should we expect from that coming on? Will it be, is there initial sales that might come with more, or is it? How do you look at it?
That's actually a good question, because this particular contract answered a question that we've thought about for several months. And would a rental program, would that make it easier for the decision making within veterinary organizations? And the answer so far is yes, it gives a tremendous benefit, because a rental program is not seen as an investment. And we also can give much easier return of investment possibilities for them, because it's so black and white. What is the monthly cost, and how many patients do we have a month, and what is the return?
And what amount of treatments do you expect? Because when you rent it out, the initial cost is lower for them, so they can have more devices, maybe?
Yeah. The rental program is designed in a way that we actually covers ourselves quite quickly, and the rental it defends the actual business concept by itself. But we are looking to potential offer rental programs to those who have about 40 to 50 minimum treatments a year.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in what way do you need to support when they rent? Is it a different type of support you need to have towards them, or is it a similar structure?
No, we have from present clients been well awarded for our after-sales service, the support from clinical perspective and from technical perspective, and we don't see any reason why we should try to do something differently when we get such a good feedback as we do today. So we will continue that, because that will improve the usability, that will improve also the consumable goods. So we have all to win to work in partnership with our clients.
Yep. Can you comment on the order you have received from Sage Veterinary Center in San Francisco on $28,000?
Yeah, that's a very nice actually contract that we received, that was initiated by their chief oncologist, who demanded to get Veticure into the deal of joining their hospital.
And how does it work, the sales process, for example?
Yeah, so this was a straightforward sales to one of their leading hospitals. But don't forget, they are part of the organization with 1,400 hospitals in North America.
But how do you follow up? Now, when you have the initial sales, how do you follow up with the... is it a period where they try the product, or have they tried it before, or how is it?
Yeah, that's this lady. She knew the technology from the past. She knows electrochemotherapy, and she knows that TSE is something else, and has that dynamic feature that is so important when you start treating smaller animals, because electrochemotherapy was designed for humans, and using that kind of technology into a small little cat, obviously that is not the same. And that's what they realized, and that's why most of them now starting to really acknowledge that TSE is something different. And yeah, if they like electrochemotherapy to start with, there is only one alternative for them if they want a modern dynamic device that actually helps them to give a better result.
And how do you follow up on this?
First of all, we help them to treat the first patients. We follow up with the second treatment of those patients. And we regularly have clinical online meetings. We have a network of international veterinarians that give advice. So they are sending different patient information to us, and our vets in our network give them advice on how to use TSE in the best way.
Okay, I have one last question. Yeah? We don't have much time, but what will the shareholders look for what's the most important milestone you have to achieve to increase sales?
Oh, to increase sales?
Yes.
I thought that was actually the milestone you were talking about, when do we see sales? But yeah, we have in veterinary space, we have reached, would I say, the critical level where we have now veterinarians selling the product to us. So that makes us more efficient in the sales organization. We don't have to, the magic question, where is it? Now we have some of the best clients in the world that worked with TSE. In human medicine, we have huge potential in India for head and neck cancer patients because of the trial we're doing with government, where they have the target of creating a new standard for head and neck cancer using TSE technology instead of surgical procedure.
Okay, thank you very much, Mohan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.